Hey there, my name's Kristen. I'm going to share some divine guidance for our channel. Let's ask the angels, saints, ancestors, and spirit guides into our space for divine guidance, messages for highest and greatest good. So it is, and so it will be. All right. Hanged Man, enlightenment, an awakening, some sort of awareness as a result of taking a step back and seeing things maybe from a different perspective, a new outlook. Or someone's being held up, maybe even feeling a bit stagnant. Let us see. This could represent like heavy thinking, heavy, just needing a time out. Look at it. It comes out, it comes from the bottom of the deck to the actual cards. I feel like you could be waiting. There's a waiting period. I feel like there's something you might have wished for. There's this emotional cup. There's this cup. Where's the one cup that's missing from the completion of this? Sometimes when you're looking at tarot, you look at what's missing. Not always is what is in front of you playing out. There's something new on the horizon. This could be like a new opportunity, a fresh start, leading by faith. I feel like something ended and it was brutal. However, it freed you from the pain and suffering of the past. And you could have been experiencing a need to look at the bright side of things. My light just got brighter. Okay, so the bright side of things. Walking in faith, walking in the light, choosing the light regardless of what the experience, the pain, the conflict, the suffering was. There is a need to kind of like see things for what they truly are. Maybe there might have been a bit of like overconsumption. Maybe there was something that was done in excess. There might have been something that needed to change. And in order for this change to happen, something drastic was a catalyst for this. I have the Chariot and the Moon. Here's the Moon and the Chariot. Okay, so what I'm getting is that there's something that needed to be a catalyst because there's something that you are destined to experience and bring to the table in this particular incarnation of this lifetime. I do feel that there is like a resonance with past lives, maybe Egypt. I feel like all the blue here might be something that you connect with. So you may see like the night sky. I'm getting like this is energy that, you know, there's this champion, there's this rising to the occasion, there's this, regardless of what's unseen and unknown, like there's no fear. Fear is an illusion is what I'm getting. I feel like maybe there might have been like this illusion about things. And I feel like there was this overcoming of fear. Being fearless, understanding that like this suffering was for your highest and greatest good. There was this like faded life that has come to an end, and now there's this like destiny playing out here. There's this karmic balance. Karmic contracts have been completed. These may have come from many lives, many experiences here. Life path number 9s could be relevant with the 9 of Cups. Queen of Wands in the reverse. There was a need for you to see where you were giving your power away to others instead of for yourself. This was you being in your unsovereign energy. Okay, allowing all these others to create some sort of dissonance for you. This disturbance. I feel like those closest to you were the ones that stabbed you in the back. So there might have been some sort of confusion regarding who to trust, who not to trust. You know, the Lobster here brings us to the point of like something that usually is below the surface is coming to the surface for us to see and have awareness of. So this is like subconscious energy coming to the light so that the light and shadow can be integrated into one. So it's like for the purpose of understanding. All right, the Chariot. More energy when it comes to like self-empowerment. Okay, understanding that there's something that you're meant to create here. And if you're giving your creative power away, how are you going to create what you came here to create? There's something that is written, okay? Something that is, you know, part of your evolution. I have a Page of Pentacles and the Fool and Judgment. And then still the Wheel of Fortune. Something new is being created as a result of this awakening. Okay, there's a grand awakening happening. And I feel like when it was time to review, okay, when there was judgment here, I feel like there was a review. There was this awareness gained. There was this understanding. There was this almost decision or choice made. Okay, and as a result of the choice made, there is this light about it. There's this like new path, new journey. I'm getting like the hero gets to experience something that is on the destiny side of their path versus like the fated, which when you talk about like the fates, there's again like choices, but I feel like whatever this was ended that fated experience, and now there's this like new journey as the Fool. All right, when it comes to the destiny, I feel like this is divine intervention on your behalf. This very much could be you experiencing, it's like you gaining the wisdom, the knowledge, and you can take this with you. You can leave the rest behind. Okay, there's a need to kind of like put this down here. It's kind of like releasing. There's a need to release. All right, because there's a new beginning on the horizon here. I feel like this Queen of Wands represents a bit of like disempowerment. Okay, I have a King of Pentacles here. That could be you. That could be somebody else. It could represent like the Matrix. And a Knight of Cups. It could be someone in your environment that is very stable and secure. I feel like they understand this process because they too are a creator. They too are in their empowered creative energy. They know how the principle of energy works and how to manifest and create in this physical reality, as above, so below. And so whatever wasn't serving you was removed because there is something that you're meant to teach and learn and practice, and maybe even become like the one who like is co-creating. There's this like co-creating energy. It could have something to do with this King of Pentacles here. I feel like something's on its way to you, and I feel like this is something that maybe has more than just like business on the mind. There's also like emotions. Remember how in the beginning I was like, where's that 9th cup? Here's that 9th cup. This completes. Okay, this becomes 10 cups. So this is like something is on its way to you. It is a wish fulfillment, and it is going to bring a lot of happiness, joy, and prosperity, and a lot of love, a lot of emotion, positive emotion. Like all the cups are in the upright and they're in alignment. So something's coming in that's completely in alignment for you. And it's like to complete the puzzle. Okay, you were missing this one puzzle piece. Here it comes. And I feel like this is like strong divine masculine energy here with the Magician. There's a destiny here to create or to fulfill. Okay, we also have a Knight of Pentacles. So there's some sort of like, this could be either them or this could be what's unseen, what's unknown, is that there could also not just be a cup of love, but also like a stable offer, like a contract, agreement, an opportunity to work together, something that is tangible, something that will improve your physical reality. It's something that's coming to you, okay? You might be like, this seems fishy, so you might need to do your research, okay? I feel like this is something that's coming to you as it relates to divine justice, karmic justice playing out. This is something that is meant to empower you on your path and journey here. Okay, so there's like a mission. There's a spiritual mission going on here. What about this Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups? I feel like whatever was disempowering has certainly awoken your consciousness, your awareness, your ability to connect with feelings, emotions, and to, instead of these like getting and running amok, you're able to have control of these. Instead of this like overpowering you, you're now in the power. You no longer let your emotions get the best of you. There's more balance here, okay? We have 3 Pentacles as well as the Page. So this brings in 4 Pentacles. I feel like working with others, there could be even expertise here. This is often portrayed as the Freemason energy, the Mason. Okay, they tend to have a lot of esoteric and ancient wisdom. And so these two are kind of coming together with the Mason, you know, for the sake of creation. Like the 3 of Pentacles talks about like putting things together to create some sort of like possibility here. So it's kind of like new possibilities, new opportunities, new contracts, new acquaintances, new experiences. This could be like a collaboration or a new team dynamic, a new group. Okay. We have the Devil and the Lovers coming out next together. Okay. So this is like the law of opposites. I feel like, you know, there's judgment going on when it comes to this devil energy, the manipulation, the control, the matrix, the you know, giving into temptation energy. I feel like maybe this group is coming together to help like seed, you know, and return things back to the beginning. And I feel like there will be an ending here. There's some sort of like divine justice and judgment being called here. I feel like everybody has their free will choice. And I'm getting like some people use their free will to be in this energy, and some people use their free will to be in this energy. Okay, so I feel like there's a bit of, you know, opposites playing out here. It's like being sovereign, free and clear. Okay, walking in the light, choosing faith. Okay, versus being chained, unable to be free, choosing to be manipulated and controlled by outside forces. So this would be the opposite of sovereignty. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of suffering as it relates to like our own desires, our earthly desires, and letting these kind of like manipulate our experience here. I feel like there's this energy of betrayal and deceit and heartbreak here at the bottom of the deck. But I feel like this heartache and betrayal that you experience is actually leading you to a legacy. So it's kind of like part of your destiny was to experience this pain so that you can help others through it, so that they can find sovereignty and freedom and be in their faith and light over the material realm and the control, manipulation, and, you know, the being trapped. You're meant to help guide others to some sort of freedom. Okay, it's like a freedom fighter. Okay, so you very much could resonate with, you know, trying to create something better for the future off of your pain and suffering. All right, so I feel like there is somebody that might be tied to this. Okay, or somebody maybe has been like, somebody's very stable, secure in their own right. Okay. This could be someone who's very preoccupied by material wealth, or maybe they have a strong family support system. Yeah, I feel like what could have trapped you and kept you stuck and prevented you from moving on, like these self-limiting beliefs, I feel like you have freed yourself from being trapped and stuck in the mind. It's like free your mind, the rest will follow. Is that how it goes? Free your mind. You're no longer trapped in the mind of not being enough. You're no longer allowing others' mental projections of you stick. All right, 8 of Wands. All right, I feel like things are picking up for you. Yeah. This could be like things are moving fast towards a goal. There could be some sort of transition playing out here. So this could be like either an ending so that something new can begin. So I feel like this is the energy starting to pick up. So I feel like once this offer comes in, okay, things are going to pick up. Like it may be slow now, but it's not going to stay that way. Okay, I feel like something's going to end. It could be something that you've done for years. It could be people that you've known. Like the change here is going to be drastic. Okay, so I feel like, again, there's some sort of choice or decision that played out here with this Justice card. I feel like this is accepting responsibility too, and putting things to an end that you're being called to put things to an end to. It's also like accepting the inevitable. So if something ends abruptly, or you've been feeling it and picking up on it, just trust that it is for your highest and greatest good. It's like removing yourself from the lower vibrational contracts that no longer serve your highest and greatest good, to align you with spirit, to align you with the divine. So there very much could be a divine contract coming in here. Okay. You may not see this or know this or have all the details yet. I have the Hierophant. Upright, Queen of Cups. It's clarifying the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands in reverse. I feel like there's some spiritual lesson playing out here. You could be the one who is sharing the wisdom, the knowledge, the know-how, the hidden knowledge. It's almost like the blessing, maybe the tradition of things, maybe what you're doing, what you connect with, your abilities, because the Queen of Cups is very psychic, empathic, very strong in their abilities. I'm getting like what might have been a disempowerment before is now something that is channeled and being used as a form of teaching. So you might have strong like spirit presence, spirit guides, spirit communication, abilities to share hidden wisdom and knowledge. So this could be like higher education too. So you could be learning. You could be called to learn something new for what you're going to be asked to work on. So this could be expanding, like going back to school, or taking a couple courses online, or finding places to learn certain ways of doing things. So maybe, you know, you're looking to embark in some sort of spiritual business. So that's like tapping into that wisdom, that knowledge, that teacher, that mentor. It's like, some of us are being called to be the mentor that we wish we had. Okay. With my eyes like, sometimes I would say sometimes, a lot of times my spirit communication comes through, like my face, my body, like I feel it. Okay. And sometimes like my eyes, like they blink, they flash, my face moves. I look like I have Tourette's, and I don't care though, because I know it's for my highest and greatest good, and I love my spirit team. Spirit team in the house. Look at Three of Pentacles and the Hermit. I mean, spiritual guidance, okay, illumination. Things will be illuminated to you when they're meant to. So it's kind of like not everything's meant to be revealed, okay? So it's kind of like having some patience. I feel like what's been going on here will be seen, heard, known to those who it's meant to be here, seen and known by. I feel like some things may need to be done in like, yeah, here's that communication, here's that knowing. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Here's that communication, here's that knowing, that discernment, the ability to speak on it, speak truth on whatever this is. Provide clarity, insight, divine guidance. Queen of Swords, the Devil, and the Judgment. All right, I feel like this is a direct connection from the divine, okay? We have the Fool, the Lovers, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so you could have someone coming in, right, that might want to speak. There's messages coming in, divine messages. You might be like a receiver. I And so I feel like, you know, there is something coming in here. You're meant to work with others on this path. I feel like it's an illuminated path. So if you've chosen the spiritual awakening and ascension process, the ascension path, I feel like things will be illuminated to you. You could be the one illuminating things. You could receive things, work with others, and there's communication here in multiple ways. So that could be resonating here. I feel like you say, you tell what's up. Like you're not going to mix words. You tell it like it is. You tell it like it is, because you are the Empress. All right. The Empress has experienced all the lessons of all the queens. And I feel like the last major lesson learned here for you, if this resonates, is the Queen of Wands, especially when it's in reverse. So I'm getting like there was a need to kind of like call your power back and step into your power, understand your power, work with your power. And so like this is being fluid with the Queen of Cups. It's almost like you might have like gotten in your own way. Like maybe this is like insecure, even envy, even like, you know, letting people tell you how to live your life instead of you living it for yourself. I feel like there's been a lot that's been integrated. I feel like not everybody has access to you in the way that they used to have access to you. You've had to kind of cover things up or protect yourself. However, you're still in flow, and there's a lot of like consciousness here. A lot of beautiful emotion, like strong empathy. You might be an empath. You could be a strong intuitive as well. So I'm picking up a lot of spiritual abilities here. You might be someone who kind of like just by illumination calls stuff out. Like if someone wants to hide themselves, then they better get out of your energy because you will pick it up. And then that's their fault. That's their choice. All right, this is moving on, making plans for the future, embarking on something new. Your back's towards like what has already happened. You're focused on the now and what's next. Okay, there's something major that has been playing out here, right? There's major lessons learned. 3-3, so you might see 3-3 a lot, or 3-3-3. All right, what's this 3 of Wands? 7 of Pentacles. I feel like whatever you've been planting, nurturing, growing, it's about to pay off. Okay. Yeah, look at Page of Swords. So I feel like there's like this observing what you've cultivated for yourself and how this is moving you in a new direction. So there could be like people watching, tuning in, paying attention, kind of like paying attention to what's going on in your life, maybe not so much what's in their life. This also could be like an informant, being investigated, being watched, observed. This also could be you picking up on intuitive thoughts too. Like you intuitively pick up on things so that it can kind of help you to invest wisely. It's like listening to your inner thoughts and how best to move forward. Like, do I keep this? Do I not keep this? Do I move this way? Do I move that way? Oh, there might be a need to like release some things here too that may not really be necessary. So say for instance, you're working on like a creative project and you know, there's some things that you've added to the creative project, but it really isn't a core to the key message. It's kind of like extra. I feel like this is like trimming the fat too. Like there might be a need to kind of trim the fat. Okay, 5 of Swords. Yeah. The Tower. I feel like whoever's watching and observing, they find themselves stuck and stagnant, okay? And trapped in their mind. I feel like whatever was going on behind the scenes, I feel like what goes around comes around with the 8 of Wands and the 5 of Swords. So someone could be experiencing the gossip, the drama, the attacks, the spiritual attacks, the mindset shifts, the fogginess, the confusion, the weird energy. Someone else is feeling this now. Okay, things are coming to an end. There's devastation, there's a downfall here. So this could be a group of people, this could be someone that you know, this could be you reflecting on the past. This could be past memories, thoughts, experiences, conflicts. There's a lot of conflict here. It's like an end to the conflict. Yeah, what goes around comes around. Okay, someone's learning a spiritual lesson. Okay, I feel like you've learned your part of the lesson here. Yeah, 5 of Cups, someone's in despair, someone's feeling shameful, someone is being shamed, outcasted, black sheep. I feel like this person has a choice to make. They can either go over the bridge and make amends or allow these cups to be overspilt, okay? Where they just kind of like hide. They hide. They hide who they truly are, and they hide their feelings. They're not available. They're not open. They're not receiving. I feel like you know this with the High Priestess. Queen of Pentacles. There could be communication coming your way as it relates to maybe, you know, where things are going. I feel like you're moving forward fast. There's energy that is like financially stable, secure, and independent without this person. And I'm getting like part of the slander, part of the projection, part of the spiritual attack was to speak ill on your name and make it so that people perceived you in some sort of way. And I feel like what's being illuminated here is that that's really this person and not you. You're emerging as the stable, secure, resourceful, responsible one, where someone else is irresponsible with their emotions. I feel like there's this knowing, awareness. People are speaking about this, talking about this. Words, swords, thoughts, thinking. Yeah, someone was a player. Okay, someone played themselves right out of your life. Okay, and I feel like they could be resenting and regretting this now. Okay, the Knight of Wands. They may want to communicate. I feel like there's this energy that doesn't want to let you go, doesn't want you to move on from them. They want to keep you stuck with them. I'm getting there's been no work here. I feel like this could be them. They're realizing like what they invested in has caused them nothing but pain, suffering, heartbreak, karmic relationships, contracts, conflicts, broke their own heart energy. All they can do is watch you. They are stuck in their situation. They are not willing to see clearly how they contributed to their own situation and conflicts that they find themselves in their life. They are wearing a blindfold on purpose. So they are choosing not to have this awareness, okay? They continue to be in the energy of attacking, okay? They still are on the attack, even though they've been warned. Yeah, there is this dark night of the soul playing out here for this person. Okay, whatever they built, they're going to have to start over. There's a need to start over, okay? In whatever way that is. Page of Cups, Page of Swords. Yeah, I feel like they feel a certain kind of way about this. They feel like, you know, but I don't know that you can really trust this, really. I feel like there's some sort of like spiritual abilities here. I feel like they may have like misused there's this immaturity is what I'm getting. Okay. Okay, lack of maturity in a situation. I'm getting, there is something on the horizon here. 7 of Cups. Yeah, I feel like somebody is finding out their options only led to their demise. Okay, what they had right in front of them, the love, okay, could be 3 people, 3 family of 3, or maybe they were the 4th, but 4 of Cups is telling me this person was gifted something and they didn't value it. Okay, in fact, they spoke ill on it. In fact, they made it out to be something that it wasn't, just to save their own face. I feel like, how are those options now? Okay. All it did was create an imbalance, but sometimes that's how we learn. We are experiencing learning through this process. Okay, Ace of Wands. There's a passionate new creative idea, a creative spark, a passionate new beginning. Okay. And then I have a 2 of Swords. There's an impasse, a decision. This person is going to be given an opportunity to decide. Are you going to follow your path, okay, your purpose, what your soul's here to do, or are you going to choose something else? This also can represent they made their choice. Now they have to lie in it, whether they like it or not. There's also that. Okay. It's like this energy needs to wake up to the truth. I feel like they've been in an illusion. They're confused. They're not able to see clearly. Like, this is like the shiny penny syndrome. Is that what it is? A shiny penny? No. Shiny something. It's something shiny. Something shiny caught their eye. Something shiny has always been programmed into their reality. That is how they measure themselves when it comes to worth, because that is how they grew up. That is how they grew up. Page of Wands. I feel like there's a big difference here. There's a page and then there's an ace. I feel like someone has more power than the other person. I feel like someone thought that they had more power than God. Okay? I feel like they're learning a very difficult lesson. Okay? There is something that, yeah, I was getting like, are you going to follow your soul's purpose or not? You have a free, this is also talked about like a free will choice, right? Oftentimes they're after our free will. There's this like cloaking or camouflaging, blinding, confusing, shadowing our ability to have clear thinking and clear knowing. And I feel like somebody is under the influence. Someone could feel that they have maybe an interest that explores both genders. And that might be something that culturally, society, their family, their friends would frown upon. And I feel like that's where the shame's coming from. Okay, I feel like there's shame here. I feel like there's like these entertaining these other options, opportunities, whatever these represent, from a shadow perspective. It's kind of like exploring all the earthly desires, but then not having to be accountable for any of them and how you operated in doing so. I feel like that's where the Ace of Wands comes in. That's where the 2 of Swords comes in. It's like, no. Let's take a looky here. Like, even though you are refusing to look at what really happened, I feel like someone's being forced to look at what's been done and how they've handled themselves. Like, this is very, like, kind of immature energy when you're talking about a Queen of Pentacles and a Page of Wands. Okay, and someone trying to keep someone confused and unclear. Yeah, star energy, bottom of the deck. What's this Page of Wands? Yeah, it's a King of Cups. Somebody who was very much rooted in their ego, pride. They were very emotionally immature. Okay, I feel like they stalk, obsess, lie, deceive. Okay, I feel like there's, again, more immature energy with the Page of Wands. I feel like this King of Cups energy is the one that might want to rush back in towards an Empress, but I feel like the Empress is going to stand her ground with the Queen of Swords energy and put an end to someone who is in their low vibrational, toxic, masculine energy, whether they're feminine or not, or masculine or not. It doesn't matter. It's not specific to the actual gender. I'm just reading energy, but I'm getting like somebody wants to kind of like, you know, continue in some way, shape, or form, the charade. And I feel like someone is on to the charade, okay? And has their own thoughts and feelings about the situation and doesn't have a problem speaking their truth. So I feel like somebody may not like that so much because they're being exposed, okay? Their dirty deeds are being exposed, okay? And there's judgment when it comes to this. All right, so whatever they were playing with and who they were playing it with for the sake of money, okay, I feel like this could represent justice, the law, lawyers, court. I feel like it's legal issues here. Someone could be dealing with legal issues here. King of Cups. I'm also getting like that Queen of Wands in reverse could very much be associated with this. Okay. All right. Happy 4th of July if you're in the United States. The Sun. The 6 of Cups. You were someone's happiness. They're going through this awareness, this awakening here. There's this like emotional outpouring, okay? This is someone who was meant to be like a partner to you. I'm getting like, you know, there's this like, they remember you were kind and sweet and considerate, and maybe where they're at, where they've been, they don't get that. In fact, they feel very isolated, rejected, and alone. So I feel like maybe there's this realization of like where they invested didn't really pay off as they thought. There's this like reminiscing of you. I feel like you're like, there's this illumination about you and the dynamic you had. Look at 10 of Wands. Yeah, I feel like somebody's immaturity got them in some hot water, and now they're burdened by their experiences. This is karma playing out. They can't come towards you because they've got too many burdens. Plus, you're divinely protected. King of Swords is like an authority figure. I feel like there's a lot of evidence about what's been done. I feel like the legal system very much could be involved in some way, shape, or form. Or there's some sort of like higher authority playing out here. Yeah, I would say authority. There's some sort of authority here. It could be God with the Sun. It could be Archangel Michael or someone who's on your spiritual team, or there's some sort of like, you know, universal law that someone violated. All right. And so now the divine's involved. Yeah, the divine's involved. Okay. I feel like God's wrath is dealing with like, you know, dealing like there's some sort of like lesson playing out when it comes to this. Like, what's the difference between, you know, false love, false promises versus real love and like real promises? This is like a difference. This is like a perspective shift. Okay. It's almost, I'm also getting like there could be a bit of like, my nose is itchy. It also can be a bit of, like someone like spell casting and like thinking that they have more power than God does. I feel like there's been a bit of like, oh yeah, really? There's a bit of like competition here. Maybe someone doesn't have the beliefs, and so maybe they're gaining some sort of wisdom, knowledge, awareness, consciousness. Someone is gaining consciousness in some way, shape, or form, and I feel like it's something that's a catalyst for them. Okay, there's an ego death with this. Okay, so I feel like everything someone once believed to be a priority or something that they want or want to obtain or experience, I feel like there's this understanding now that none of this is worth it. This was never worth it. There's some sort of like realization here. Someone is kind of being broken from an illusion. Okay, we do have a fire energy, Leo energy, strength card. So it's like letting your natural instincts get the best of you to the point where you are stuck in illusions and prioritizing the wrong things in your life and choosing relationships that are surface versus something that is actually real. That's what's playing out for someone. Yeah. And there's like this forgiveness and compassion regarding this too. Look, I have temperance. There's a need to kind of bring balance to something. So this is like divine intervention here. Okay. Something's very like out of whack. Yeah, something's very out of whack with the Five of Wands. All right. I feel like there's a whole group here that might have been influenced. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of drama, competition, disturbance, you know, not being able to kind of like align, going in like no direction. Someone is like directionless, just constantly creating disharmony and discord amongst themselves and those that they associate with. Someone could be fighting and in conflict with many people at this time. Look at Six of Wands. I feel like they want victory somehow. I feel like they want to win at all costs. Okay? They want to win at all costs. Look at. I don't think that they're going to win in the way that they think they're going to win. I feel like that's maybe what's being brought back into like divine balance, justice even. It's almost like there was like trying to prevent someone from being on their path and purpose and have the support of those that they're meant to have support from. It's kind of like creating difficulty for somebody just for the sake of creating difficulty and disharmony because they want to win at all costs and they can't possibly see you in any kind of limelight. I feel like they have done the most to portray you in the worst light. And when you rise above, persevere, and get support, I feel like this person can't handle it because they're being judged for what they've done to you. And they can't receive that because that means that there's something that, you know, is a reflection of them making a bad choice. Okay. I feel like they're not willing to accept the defeat. And here's the thing, they defeated themselves. Okay, that is the most important thing to take away here. Oftentimes we sabotage ourselves because there's things that we're not willing to look at. Okay, there are things that we're not willing to look at that keep us bound and stuck to repeating the same things over and over and over again. Okay, it's time to put it down. It's time to accept the inevitable and let it go. This is either you or this is them. All right, there's a need to let it go. All right, look at High Priestess and the Ace of Swords. I mean, I feel like if they were lying on your name, I feel like the secrets are being revealed here. And you know who's revealing you? God. God is revealing you. Okay, the exposure of who you truly are and your abilities, what you're meant to do. Okay, your truth. You've been speaking the truth the whole time. I feel like that's what's being exposed and revealed. Okay? Yeah. They can spin it all they want. I feel like there's this moving on towards your destiny, okay, while they experience, you know, the thoughts, the memories, the emotions, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, the nightmare, emotional anguish. Mental anguish. I feel like they wanted this for you. I feel like they're having to look over their shoulder now because so much has been said and done at this point. They find themselves very burdened. Or they may be having to leave situations because people feel burdened by the conflict this person brings or the conflict this person is surrounded by. Okay? I feel like this energy has a lot of conflicts. I feel like you've moved on towards peace and harmony here. There's a need to kind of like, you know, stay quiet. Okay, keep things kind of to yourself. Mind your own business. Stay in your lane. You're going to be moved to safety. Or you're in safety. I have the Nine of Wands in the upright. I have the Star. All right, the Nine of Wands is telling me like whatever has been going on, all right, this is coming to an end. Like we're at the nines. We already have the Ten of Wands out here. I feel like what you've been through has really been a test, like almost like a testament to your will, your grit, the ability for you to overcome any situation and for you to apply what you've learned from those situations and anything that comes up in your life. I feel like this is a sense of resilience, and there's this need to like replenish and to provide self-care for yourself. I feel like what you do does create a ripple effect. So managing your own energy and remaining hopeful and fulfilled, like self-fulfilling, is really important. I feel like there's one more big thing you're meant to do here, okay? That's that Ace of Wands that we saw. Two of Cups. It could very much be with a partner. Okay, so this is like, you know, connecting with somebody who has the capacity and awareness to hold space, potentially. It could be a divine counterpart of some kind. This is like a divine high vibrational partnership here. One that's meant to kind of like replenish, balance, harmonize as it relates to peace here on earth. So it's kind of like coming from universal energy and then coming here into our consciousness, our awareness, to be grounded, stable, and secure, okay, with this energy. Temperance and the Two of Cups. So there's divine wisdom here. There's divine intervention here. So if you're like kind of like alone now, I feel like they want you to be patient. They want you to forgive the past with love and compassion. They want you to stay in your own lane. You understand that they're fighting for whatever they find to justify their choices and actions. You don't have to align with whatever their reasoning is. Oops, I saw the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you're meant to work together and create something. I feel like practice makes perfect. So you could be practicing and working towards a common goal here. Something that will be prosperous. Something that contributes to the greater good. Okay. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Something that contributes to the greater good. I feel like whatever you're building is strong, secure. And I'm also getting like you've earned your position. So now you're in this energy of gratefulness and you walk with spirit and you walk in the light. So you go from the Two of Cups to the Eight of Cups to the Nine of Cups. This is like, you know, being like a business owner or just having enough, whatever you're trying to create and do here, you having the resources to do it. Maybe you being the resource for some that, you know, are embarking on this journey too. So some of it is like, you know, you being able to be seen in a position of authority as well as stature, and being abundant in your own right. I feel like there might have been energy that tried to prevent that, okay, because they didn't feel that for themselves. And so there was this whole like plot and plan to keep you looking small because it makes them look bigger. All right. And then we have a Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like you're meant to share in some sort of charitable way. This could be you receiving so that you can give. It also could just be like someone might be, you know, really generous with you, but I'm getting like you receive so that you can give. And this is a divine blessing. Okay. So whatever, you know, energy you're in, whatever you've accumulated is meant to be shared. Not hoarded, not greed. It's not greed-based. It's not for the sake of appearances, okay? Because you can be trusted with this. You can be trusted and blessed with this because what you're here to do transcends time and space. So it transcends the physical reality. It's like whatever you're being gifted and blessed with, it's meant to be grounded, stable, and secure and to create something new with. This is like creating a new reality and having the resources to do it. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have the Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands. So I feel like you understand that all this hard work is paying off, and it's towards your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. I feel like this is you celebrating your success, celebrating your life, and really enjoying what you came here to do. It's beautiful. So you very well could be going somewhere, connecting with somebody, and maybe this being some sort of like accomplishment or establishing a stable foundation elsewhere, connecting with like-minded people. This also could be like twin flame connection, as well as like a holy union of some kind. Okay, because I do have like, you know, this happy family dynamic. So this could be, you know, you connecting with families, maybe a family abroad, or maybe you're coming back together, or this could be you creating a new family, starting a new family, whatever that might be. Two of Wands. So there is this like shift. Oftentimes when I see this card, Two of Wands, it's like a paradigm shift. It's like letting the old world be so that you can embrace the new. So this is you, you know, thinking about what all the possibilities are and how, you know, you can create a difference here. Here's your Two Wands to the 4. So like you're bringing something major to the ground here, and so is somebody else. They might be like afar. It could be a distance. This can be like getting ready as well. There could be some sort of common purpose that the two of you have. Okay, I'm getting it's like this energy coming together as one. Burps. I got the burps. I almost used this whole deck. Let's see, we have the World card. Look at things coming together as one. This is oneness. This is unity. This is completion. This is like the ending of a round of the circle of necessity. Okay, this is like the healer. Okay, the empath, the light worker. Here to help with the process. Okay? Trust the process. I feel like this is you, you know, waiting for instructions, waiting for leadership. There could be a leader here. Someone who's in charge, a father figure, an emperor. Okay, so this could represent like the material realm. So somebody very much could be coming into your material reality. I feel like it could be one of the Two of Cups here. All right, so we have the Emperor. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords. So I feel like the work you do creates some sort of like mental anguish for those who want to create conflict, drama, and competition with you. Okay, so I feel like this is also a bit of like spiritual attack here. You could be worried about all of these things and how they're all going to come together, and you're trying to control the situation, and when you try to control the situation, all it does is create more chaos and conflict. So try to release control. Trust the process and let things flow. I know you hear this all the time. Okay. Do you want these to come out? Okay. Okay. Let's see what our last few cards. King of Wands. Fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sag. There's like a need to command. There's a need to lead. There's a need to embark on the journey. There's a need for adventure. There's a need to kind of like take the mount. Like someone has earned their position too. So I'm getting like, they have stepped into their spiritual power and authority. They too are a sovereign being. Okay, so they're very motivated. They're very inspiring. They're very charismatic. They take the bull by the horns. Aries. Aries energy. Okay, Aries. They could be an Aries. They could have strong fire placements. Mercury can also be relevant. Strong Mercury, so Yeah. Look at Four of Pentacles. It's like releasing the old, letting go, allowing change, not resisting change. Okay, we have 4 left. All right. I feel like this is standing up for what's right. Okay, there's a community here. This could be you celebrating. This could be like your generational line. This could be the phases of your life. Maybe you're moving into a new phase of your life. Maybe you're going from the maiden to the mother. Maybe you've had a child. Maybe you're going from the mother to the crone. Maybe there's like an aging process happening for you in some way, shape, or form. It's kind of like there's cycles playing out here. Cycles of growth and development. And then I have the 4 swords. So it's like praying like it's your job. It's like being one with spirit, right? Meditating, resting, connecting, being open to receive. It's like that receiver energy, telepathy. I feel like you receive the messages that you need in order to be of service. So continue to work on your channel, okay? Making sure that you're fine-tuning things, okay? So that you can receive for guidance on the next cycle of your life, the next path, the next transition. There's a transition playing out here. So you could be like chilling, relaxing, you know, kind of minding your own business. You know, you could be healing on a healing journey. You could be sharing healing with others in some way, shape, or form. You could be holding space for others as a result of like their own pain and suffering. I feel like, you know, you have your own sword. So you have your own experience here. And I feel like there's also this energy of like sharing your story so that other people can learn from it too. That's beautiful. Wow, some cool messages for today. Okay. All right, y'all. I went through the whole deck. That's fun. That's really, you know, I don't do it often, but when I do it, it's quite fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have the most amazing day if you're in the U.S. and you're celebrating, you know, all that we do appreciate here, and just being around family and friends. All amazing. Our test of faith and freedom is ever present. So, you know, there's a need to kind of, you know, stand in a sovereignty energy, remembering that, like, you know, this human experience isn't all that it is. Okay. So, try to do what you can to not resist change, because the one thing that's inevitable is change. So if you're being called to make some adjustments and changes in your life, try not to resist. All right, I'll see you guys on the next reading. Bye now.